So Godspeed has to be the most entertaining episode of The Expanse to date, or at least this season. I really loved this episode. Everything about it was amazing. The episode begins, or at least we see in this episode, Alcivera gathering information on Julie Mallow's father, and it's really been cool to see Alcivera sort of masterfully manipulate politics on Earth to get what she wants, get the information she wants, and of course she has Fred Miller's help, and I really love how they're working together now, and I love seeing that UN political stuff on Earth, at least with Alcivera. It makes it very this show is going at this conspiracy, the protomolecule, and everything from so many different angles. It's amazing to see how wonderfully the cast does in completely different situations, and see how these different characters interact. So it was really cool to see Alcivera gathering that information on Julie Mallow's father and sort of figuring out some stuff on her own. But we only spent a little bit of time on that this episode. Most of the time we see Miller's plan being put into action. Basically, they take all the Mormons off the Nauvoo and they launch it for a collision course with Eros. And basically the plan here is to have the Nauvoo crash into Eros and launch it into the sun, so all the protomolecules destroyed. And the plan is that for the Rossi to provide cover. Holden at first is sort of frustrated with going to help Miller, of course, because they had that fallout, but eventually he comes around to the idea and he realizes that it's a good plan. So the Rossi accompanies the Nauvoo and the team to launch, or at least launch off to Eros to put the nukes on it. So the Nauvoo's launched in this awesome, beautiful sequence, wonderfully done CG, and of course the Rossi's launch as well, and they both head to Eros. Now when they get to Eros, there's this scene where we see Holden and them getting on Eros and starting to place the nukes, and while they're doing that, Holden sort of has a dilemma of his own, as he figures out that there's these doctors in this ship on Eros, and he's trying to determine, should I kill these people because they might spread the protomolecule to other parts of the galaxy? And Holden just feels morally that he can't let that happen. So there's this moral dilemma where he's trying to negotiate with these doctors, but eventually he blows them up. Miller, on the other hand, while sort of Holden's dealing with this, has to deal with this storm of debris that flies by him on Eros and sort of dodge it so he can live. But in the process, the last nuke that he's setting up with Diego gets sort of manipulated, or at least it gets partially destroyed. So Miller has to put his finger on the nuke to have it have the nuke. The nuke's on a timer, and if Miller takes his finger off the nuke, it'll explode. Basically, that's what the damage does. It ruins the timer. So Miller has to stay behind. Diego leaves, and basically we think Miller's going to die by the end of this episode. He's left alone on Eros with the nukes, and the Nauvoo is about to hit the asteroid. But then the craziest thing happens. The Nauvoo doesn't impact Eros. It just goes over the head of Miller, who, of course, thinks he's going to die. And it turns out that the Nauvoo didn't impact Eros because Eros moved. The Nauvoo didn't move. So there's this really insane moment where the viewer, or as I was, is like, okay, how did the whole entire asteroid just move? What just happened? And it was amazing, that they had all this set up only to have their plan fail because the asteroid moved. And it will be interesting to see sort of Miller's, in the next episode's teaser, it showed Miller sort of going into the asteroid and dealing with the protomolecule. It will be interesting to see the explanation for that, how the asteroid moved in the next episodes. But Godspeed is just amazing. Just the insane plan to have the Nauvoo crash into this asteroid and knock it into the moon, or into the sun, was phenomenal. I loved the visual spectacle. We haven't seen this type of visual spectacle on a sci-fi show in a long, long time. And the Nauvoo's launch, like I said, was just gorgeous. And I love the visual spectacle of this episode. I love the plan. I sort of, like I had said in the previous review, I loved seeing Diego and Miller work together. I loved Holden's dilemma with these doctors trying to leave, and I loved Miller's willingness to sacrifice his own life to save the lives of millions of other Belters. Godspeed was amazing. It was phenomenal. It was the Expanse at its best, and so I'd have to give my final score for Godspeed, season 2, episode 4 of the Expanse. I'd have to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed this review and recap. Remember to like and subscribe for more Expanse content. This has been Jonesy from Jonesy TV signing off.